We're going to talk about one single, absolutely wild 24-hour period that pretty much defines the new tech battlefield, April 12th, 2026. This was a night where the digital world was, simultaneously getting attacked and taking these massive leaps into the future. Okay, let's just get right into it.
And this quote, it just nails it. Seriously, while most of us were sleeping, this huge drama was playing out. We're talking about everything from malware being secretly tucked into software you trust to this all-out arms race in the world of AI. This is the story of that one night. So what really went down? Well, it was basically a perfect storm. On one hand, you had these major cyber attacks hitting trusted software and huge household name companies. And on the other hand, you had these groundbreaking AI announcements that promised to totally change how we use technology. Today, we're going to unpack this insane collision of threat and innovation. All right, let's start with the threats, and a really scary one, the supply chain attack. This is where hackers don't come after you directly. No, they're smarter than that. They go after the software companies you already trust, and they turn a totally legitimate download into a weapon. And on this night, it didn't just happen once. It happened twice in a really big way.
Just look at this timeline. You see that critical window? For about 6 hours, CPUID, the company that makes super popular tools like CPU-Z, which, millions of gamers and tech pros use every day, was unknowingly handing out malware. Hackers got into a secondary system, changed the download links on the official website, and bam, anyone who downloaded the software in that window got a nasty piece of malware called a remote access Trojan. And that basically gives hackers the keys to your entire computer. And here's the really clever and scary part. This is how they pulled it off. It's a technique called DLL sideloading. So when you downloaded the software, you got the real, legitimate installer, the one with the official digital signature that looks totally safe. But hidden inside that same download was a malicious little file called a DLL. When you run the installer, it's tricked into loading that bad file instead of the safe one from Windows. And just like that, the Trojan is running and the attackers have full control. The absolute worst part? Most antivirus software wouldn't even blink.
And get this, at the exact same time, another attack was in progress. The hacking group Shiny Hunters, who are pretty infamous, sent a message to Rockstar Games, the creators of Grand Theft Auto. The message was simple: you have 48 hours to pay us or we're leaking your data. So see, both of these were supply chain attacks, right? They both exploited trust, but they were different. With CPUID, the hackers targeted you, the end user, by poisoning the official download. The Rockstar attack was more indirect. The hackers broke into a third-party company called Anodot, which does analytics for Rockstar. Now, Rockstar confirmed no player data was stolen, but it just goes to show you, even massive companies are vulnerable because of this huge, complicated web of partners they work with. Okay, so as if two major supply chain attacks weren't enough for one night, another fire was raging. This one was what we call a zero-day vulnerability. That means there's a serious flaw in a piece of software, and the bad guys are already using it to attack people before the developer has a chance to fix it. And we're not talking about some small bug here. This vulnerability was in Adobe Acrobat Reader. Software that's on pretty much every computer on the planet. It got a severity score of 8.6 out of 10. In the security world, that's code red. That's critical. It meant Adobe had to drop everything and rush out an emergency patch. So what could this thing actually do? It's something called remote code execution, or RCE. And trust me, it's one of the worst kinds of vulnerabilities you can have. It means a hacker could create a weaponized PDF file, and if they trick you into opening it, they can run any code they want on your machine. They could install spyware, steal your files, basically take over your entire system, all from a single click. This was absolutely one of those stop what you're doing and update right now situations. The advice from all the experts was loud and clear. Update your Adobe Reader immediately. Be super, super careful about opening any PDFs you weren't expecting. And hey, if you're an IT admin, you need to push this patch out to your entire network like yesterday. Okay, so while all these security teams are running around with their hair on fire, a totally different kind of war was heating up over in the world of AI. This wasn't about defense at all. This was all offense. The AI gold rush was hitting a new gear, with the big players making absolutely huge moves. First, let's talk about Perplexity AI. The speed of their growth is just mind-blowing. They reported a 50%, that's 50, increase in revenue in a single month, pushing them past $450 million in annual revenue. And why? They made this genius pivot from just being an AI that answers questions to a platform for AI agents that can actually do things for you. And it turns out
People will pay for that.
Then, the next bombshell of the night came from Meta. For years, they've been all about open source AI with their llama models, kind of like giving away the secret sauce for free. Well, they did a complete 180 and announced their first super powerful closed source model called Muse Spark.
And this really shows you the shift in strategy. The llama models were all about building a community, an open ecosystem. Muse Spark, this is about going head-to-head with the giants, like OpenAI. It's a closed, proprietary model you can only access through a private API. Meta basically just said, okay, we're done just helping everyone else. We're here to win this thing.
And did it work? Oh yeah. The Meta AI app skyrocketed from number 57 in the US App Store all the way up to number 5 overnight. That's a 52-spot jump in less than a day. The public was clearly hungry to see what Meta's new powerhouse AI could do.
So up to this point, it feels like we've been telling two different stories, right? A night of crazy cybersecurity attacks and a night of huge AI breakthroughs. Well, this is the part where those two storylines smash right into each other. Because it turns out, AI isn't just for creating cool new things. It's also becoming our most important weapon and shield. And the perfect example of this came from a total accident. On that same night, some data miners digging through code found references to a top-secret internal project at Valve called Steam GPT. Valve yanks the code down really fast, but it was too late. The cat was out of the bag. They were building their own powerful AI for the Steam platform. So what's Steam GPT for? Well, from what we can tell from the leak, it's designed to fix two of the biggest headaches on Steam: painfully slow customer support and the never-ending plague of cheaters. It can automate support tickets, sure, but the real game changer is how it can power up their anti-cheat system. It can analyze player reports and gameplay data in real time to spot cheaters way faster and more accurately than a human ever could. So let's step back and look at the big picture. One night, we had supply chain hacks, a critical zero-day bug, and massive AI news. What does all of this chaos actually tell us about where technology is headed? Well, there are a few really big takeaways here. First, our software supply chains are the new front line. The trust we have in our tools can and will be used against us. Second, when a zero-day drops, it's a race. Every single minute counts. Third, the AI market is growing up. It's moving past just being a cool toy and into being a tool we rely on. And finally, and this is the most important one, AI is now at the very center of everything. It's being used to build the future, and it's being used to defend it. And that's really the heart of it all. These two huge stories from that one night, the AI race and the security battle, they weren't just happening at the same time. They're actually becoming the same story. The race to build the smartest AI and the fight to keep our digital world safe are now completely tangled together. So what does all this mean for us? I think this quote says it all really. There's no winning in cybersecurity. There's no finish line in AI development. There's just this constant, accelerating cycle of innovation and adaptation. That night, April 12th, wasn't some fluke. It was a preview of our new reality, a future where the line between the weapon and the shield is getting blurrier every single day. The only question left is, who's going to adapt faster?